Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Duncan Smith in the sticks. So I'm literally in the sticks. So I was in the notion, I tried to do something generational for my family each and every day, whether that be build on an apartment or walk some of our land or just something physical, something mental. I plan each day to think and be generational every day. So this is a spring. My wife and I bought this farm in the 90s. Part of our buy the land that joins you. I always find it amazing how Amish on 40 acres can make a living. So maybe not the living you and I would be particularly fond of, but anyway, this is spring. This is the old Cantrell farm. So the last name of the guy that owned it last, I don't know if it'll ever be the Smith farm, because Burley was such a character and larger than life. And my wife and I bought 224 acres, and then the dairy deal we figured out was not going to work. So we were in the process of selling the majority of that, keeping a portion of it just so that we say we didn't fail completely. And looks like we're going to get part of that back. My intentions are to hold it. This is a little over a 50-acre tract. So I was walking where the fence line would be and just reminiscing about the past. I think I'm going to have to jump in here and get my feet wet, which I'm really excited to do. You can see where the coons have been playing over there on that, looks like ash. I was going to go over there, but I'd probably fall down. Oh, I may fall down here. So, in the south central Missouri region, the only thing we have a lot of is rocks, hillbillies, and water. Look at the water coming out of this spring. This is a Cracker Jack. So it's not, it's not huge, but it's got a little ice on it. Could make a really good video. It's got some coming on this side as well. What is that? Maybe 3-4 gallons a minute. I don't know. Maybe 2 gallons a minute. But I'm on the other side of this. So I'm in the real estate business because the farming business, the only thing worse than having a garden is having cows. And look at the coon tracks here. So I'm just gonna walk up here. I just wanted to turn on the cameras, what Myron Golden says. So I've always thought, we had a lot of water. I've always thought that the spring came out here, but I'm not so sure. It does come from this sycamore tree, but it looks like we've got some. This is more of a wet weather spring. I would anticipate. We had so much water, cleaned all of this out. I just don't see a lot moving. But anyway, this 52 acres, like I said, I intend on keeping it in the family. My bride wants to build one of those cute little cabins. So the thought crossed my mind, why don't you sell the 400-acre family farm and build your bride a nice little cute cabin over here? That ain't gonna happen. Come on, it's a family farm. Gotta hold on to that because that's what farmers do, right? Here's my beautiful fescue grass. Toughest, maybe tougher than South Central Missouri. If you can make a living in South Central Missouri, dude, you're gonna prosper everywhere else. Our economy is a little slower than others, folks talk slow, but you want to talk about good with a pad and a pencil. Dude, they can cipher better than most. Anyway, I don't know, is anybody enjoying this? That fence is going to come. I'm going to be in charge of putting up the fence because a good friend of mine that's what he does, and I've got everything to do it. Here's a survey marker. So they put this wooden stick, this is a Carmack deal. Put a wooden stick here. This was Duncan Smith taped some blue tape here. And then that's your official satellite pin coordinates. Registered at the courthouse. It's gonna go from here to that next steel post. Then right back to the road. We're gonna brace it. That pipe, I'll probably pull this one in hell. I've got to go on down, ramble. An old man standing in the fescue field telling you about how he's gonna fence, and you probably don't even care. Look at this stockpile forage. Dude, the trick of getting Jersey cows bred is whenever they calve, they are a miracle straight from God. Their metabolism switches from a dry cow to what a lot of people call wet cow, and they start producing milk and pulling fat to compensate for their forage or their ration. And they say for every pound of peak production, so if a cow gives 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds of milk every day, for every peak pound of milk before she goes into what they call a net energy gain. And you can try to get that cow bred back to have another calve, but unless she's in a positive energy balance, ain't gonna happen, Scooter. So that's why, commercial dairy guys, I love them. They try to get every pound of milk they can. They try to get their body condition of their cows super good. And if they're giving 100 pounds of milk, who cares if they're bred back or not to have another baby? So, that's within reason. But this fescue is not conducive to push management. It's least cost. It's hard to lose less enough to be profitable, and that's why all the dairies here are leaving, because we can produce milk cheaper per pound probably than anybody in the world, but it doesn't matter. We don't have enough pounds going out the door to put tires on the milk hauler's truck and to keep somebody, coming to get your milk when they want it. And they don't want to deal with one entitled, privileged hillbilly guy. They want one guy doing an excellent job producing 25, 30 tanker loads of milk a day. So look at this butter rub. Anyway, so that was another rant from an old man here. Burley, what do you call this? Like a 22 acre hayfield. Fescue orchard grass. This thing's got two springs. Look at this buck rub. Oh, there goes a white tail. Release the deer. So here's a pretty good little rub. So 9 minutes of a rambling man walking back to his truck. So I've got kind of the info I need. I'm gonna build a fence. Look at this stockpile of grass. So people ask, or maybe they don't, You know, the only people who care if it rains are farmers and lawnmower people, landscape. But it's tough to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 an acre for fescue, turn it into a beef calf, or a pound of milk, or a pound of corn silage, have all of the equipment that you need, and at the end of the day, pay the interest, meet all your overhead, depreciation, which is real, and make a profit. So, you know, they say you gotta love it. I think you gotta be a little crazy too. There's some gates I'm gonna put over there on the line. But, you know, all things work for a reason. This is a dandy. Make a really good place for one of those chicken barns. I talked to a guy yesterday. He said 24,000 chickens to a barn, let them have pasture, and their company pays 45 cents per dozen. This is a failed attempt at rotational grazing. Sorry, Greg Judy. He never did show up here, being me. Sorry. I tried a lot of things. Anyway, 45 cents a dozen. So what is that? 24,000 chickens. If you could get them to 90%, be 18, you know, say 23,000 eggs. Let's just say it was 24,000, so it's 200 dozen. 200 dozen, so that's $900 a day. They pay for the feed. They pay for the birds. You have to build the building and have the ground. So that would be $27,000 a month cash flow. You know, I know that's all jotting down numbers, but you know, that deal, if your wife didn't like shoes, that'd probably work. But anywho, I like this random Duncan Smith in the sticks. If you made it this far, this is South Central Missouri at its finest. This is more of a cattle deal. It would be a really nice little homestead. So maybe generationally, land keeps appreciating. There's another corner post that's going to go somewhere else. My children will be able to make a move for their generation. Anyway, like and subscribe if you take a notion. If you want more random content from a guy walking through a Kentucky 31 fescue field, yeah, comment, tell it to me. Tell me all about your perennial fescue that's anti-fungus and how great it is, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, granted, but I've sure enjoyed my run. There's a tire of water over there. Anyway, there's power. Intercounty Electric, my friends, them boys and girls, dude, they get it done. Rain, sleet, or snow. And then the power comes down that road, jumps across onto this parcel. That pond is going to get cleaned out. Jessica Kennedy, I'm calling you out, buddy. 963 track loader. Get on over here. $150 an hour don't scare me none. Anywho, I'm going to wrap it up. Like and subscribe if you have any like it all on a YouTube random guy. Duncan Smith in the sticks. Over and out.